So welcome everybody to the latest Jodo webinar. Today it's my absolute pleasure to be working with Storyboard That, and in particular Leanne and Lauren and Anna as well, who's very kindly in the background going to be answering any technical questions that might come up about Storyboard That. Today is, as you can see, the 15th of November 2021, and I'm really thrilled to be having a deep dive into Storyboard That and how it can be used in language learning. Whenever the MFL Twitterati or the Lang Chat community ask me what is a good tool for promoting cartoons or using cartoons in the languages classroom, I always recommend Storyboard That, because I just think it's fantastic. And so tonight I think we're in for a real treat on seeing all the different ways in which it can be used in languages, and hopefully getting lots of inspirational ideas. I would love people to tweet examples after the session, or even during the session if you want to create some content right now during the session. That'd be amazing. So feel free to tweet any examples that you'd like. We are recording the session as per normal, so it will be available on my YouTube channel, which is JoeDale100, and there's hours and hours and hours of free PD there if you want to have a look at that at another time. So without further ado, I'm going to hand over to Leanne and to Lauren to kick us off. So if you could introduce yourselves, tell us a bit about yourselves, and then we're going to launch straight into Storyboard That. And before anyone asks as well, the ladies have very kindly offered to share the presentation as well. So you don't have to say, will we be able to get access to the presentation? You will be able to get access to the presentation. So you'll get the presentation and the recording. So over to you, Leanne and Lauren, and thank you so much for agreeing to do this. It's very exciting. You're coming live to us from the States. It's great.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Joe, for that wonderful introduction. My name is Leanne Hicks, and I was a teacher for many years. I taught social studies and English language arts, as well as art. And my first teaching job was actually teaching English language learners at a language school in Boston. And then I even taught English in Poland for a year. So welcome to everybody from all over the world. We are so happy to have you here.
Thank you. My name is Lauren, and I am another curriculum writer here at Storyboard That. I am a former elementary school teacher, and I have over 10 years experience in the classroom. I've spent the majority of my time with fourth graders. I am a mom of a 13-year-old and a 9-year-old, and they both love Storyboard That and have used it frequently. So Leanne and I are so excited to be here and show you all of the cool things that you can do with your students in the classroom.
Right.
That's right. So here's our agenda for today. First, we're just going to give you a little overview. What is Storyboard That? What do we do here? What can you use us for? And then we're going to show you how to use the Creator and make really cool storyboards with your class. Then we're going to show you how to use the teacher resources. We've got tons and tons of pre-made activities and articles and all sorts of templates that we're going to show you how to use. And we're also going to show you how to create your own assignment. And then we'll talk a little bit about training options and subscription options and different pricing. And then that'll be your time to, we'll address questions as we go, as Joe said, but any other questions that, we kind of get at the end, we will address. And we also have a feedback form that we would love to have everybody fill out when we're done. Great. Okay, so what is Storyboard That exactly? Storyboard That is an award-winning browser-based creator. It is the perfect tool to create storyboards, graphic organizers, comics, and lots of other powerful visual assets. It is a visual communicator. Storyboard That allows students of all ages and skill levels to create amazing visuals for learning and communicating. We focused on critical thinking, creativity, communication, and collaboration in order to help all of our students' thinking capabilities and expand their potential. And finally, very importantly, we are completely FERPA and COPPA compliant, which ensures the safety of all of our students, and that is very important to us.
All right, and how does it work? So what we are going to show you right now is how you can create beautiful scenes like what you see here with our Storyboard That Creator. We have hundreds of different scenes that range from modern day to historic. We have hundreds of different characters with very diverse hair and clothing styles. And we have thousands of items to choose from. So I'm going to click out of this. Oops. For a moment so I can go to our, thank you, Lauren. All right, so here we are. Here we are with our 3-cell storyboard. When you start looking at Storyboard That, you always begin with 3 cells, but you can go down here to the bottom left, and you can see that we have many different layout options. So you can expand these cells so that they are in a cinematic layout. You can make them into 8.5 by 11 worksheets, small posters, large posters, and we have a number of different chart layouts as well. So you can see that the possibilities are endless. When you are happy with your layout, here I will add title and description, and I'm going to click Let's Go. Now we're going to add some art. Up here under scenes, we have categorized our dozens and dozens of different scenes. So here are town scenes. And if you move this bar to the right, you can see that there are many, many scenes within each category. Another handy tool is clicking on these arrows, and you can see all the scenes within each category. In addition to town, we have entertainment with things like theaters and shopping malls. We also have the inside of various different homes, the outside, school scenes, sports, you name it. So I'm going to show you how you can pull down a scene. You click on it and drag, and then when you hover over the cell, let go and it will fill up the cell. All of our scenes are editable, so you can customize them. Maybe you want this classroom to look more like yours, so you can go ahead and change the colors, change the whiteboard. If you don't use a desk, you can take it away. You can even change the time of day. Now that we have a scene in there, we can take a look at some of the characters. Here are our adult characters. You can see that they begin all blank, but there are many different clothing and hairstyles to choose from. So when you find somebody that you want to use, you simply click on them, drag them down, and release. When I go to this editing palette, edit pose, now I can customize my character. I can change her hair and her skin and her eyes. I can even change her dress. Let's give her a pink dress. Now down here, we've got preset poses. So you can very quickly change her poses. I like how these are labeled, which is great for English language learners because it labels the different emotions or actions. Here she is walking. Let's have her speaking. If I wanted, I could also come over here to the left and customize it even further. Maybe she's really happy. Maybe she's got a different hairstyle. When I'm happy with my character, I click Update Pose. If I want to make my character bigger, I can grab these endpoints and pull away, and she will get bigger. Now, the great thing for language learners is that we have lots of text options. So under this next category called textables, we have speech bubbles, which are really handy for practicing dialogue. All you do is drag it down and you can type, "Good morning." Now it starts at 10, but we can make it bigger, and I can even change the font make it really fancy, whatever you like. So here she is saying good morning to her class. I also want to highlight some of our historic scenes that we have. We do have scenes from all over the world, and under historic, you'll see that we have things like castles, and we have things like the old Berlin Wall, Machu Picchu, the Colosseum in Rome. Here is the Ishtar Gate from ancient Mesopotamia. And again, if you click into edit scene, I can change time of day, and I can change the colors, make it just how I want. Now, in addition to historic scenes, we also have historic characters. So underneath the classical era, you'll see that we have ancient Egyptian, ancient Roman, and I can bring down an ancient Mesopotamian king. Here he is. Again, like our teacher, I can edit everything about him. I can change his hair, change his skin, change his pose. Now he is welcoming you to his gate. A great feature that we have is that you can copy any of the art assets very easily. So within this editing palette next to edit is a copy button. Now I can drag that speech bubble all the way over here. And if I want, I can change what he's saying. We also have a number of scenes that are beautiful outdoor landscapes. So we have country and rustic with some barn scenes, even a vineyard. Can drag it down. And again, I can change the time of day. Maybe it's snowy. With this one, I can even change the color of the grapes. Now, when I go into my characters, I can look for somebody to work at this vineyard. We have monsters and myths characters. We have mythology. I'm going to go for, where is he? Under mythology, this gentleman, who is supposed to be Dionysus or Bacchus. And if I edit his pose, I can go in again and change things about him. I can change his direction as well. Now, in addition to our categorized art, which is scenes, characters, textables, we also have science and shapes, so many things. We also have many, many items which are not categorized. So of these thousands of items, you can type the search term in here, and some items will come up. And here we go, we can give him something. Now you'll notice that we have some other pictures coming up. These are all safe pictures that come up with this search term, and they are safe for students to see. So you'll see on our left, we have everything related to this search term. And then on the right, we have photographs that are called Photos for Class, a safe search. All right, I am going to jump out of the Creator for a moment and take you over to our teacher resources. When you have an account, you have access to all of our thousands of lesson plans and activities and templates and resources. So you'll see we have our template collections first, worksheets, posters, and storyboards. We also highlight our featured resources, which are usually seasonal or something new that we have created. And then you can see that all of our resources are categorized by grade and subject. So we can go right to world languages. And you can see that we have a number of Spanish and French activities. So if I am teaching comparative and superlative adjectives in Spanish, I can click on these lesson plans. And you'll see that each one will give you an idea of an example that you can do with your students. So in this activity, they are comparing the different adjectives. And underneath it, you'll see an overview. And then here you'll see the template that the students will be provided with. We also have some French activities that I can show you. For example, The Little Prince, Le Petit Prince. You can do vocabulary. The great thing with vocabulary is you can have the term at the top, the definition at the bottom, and a beautiful picture in the middle that describes what the word means. In addition, for our English language learners, we have ESL activities and lesson plans. There are some recent ones just added on idioms, the conditional tense, past, present, future, country projects. Your students can describe their country, including dialogue and taking their classmates on a virtual tour. In addition to all our language learning activities, we have ELA, which includes many different novels, books, short stories. We also have science lessons. We even have things on the planets and stars, and even math. You can really storyboard anything. In this way, you can teach students about fractions using a storyboard so that they can visualize what the fractions actually mean.
Okay.
All
right, thank you.
Hand it over to Lauren.
Okay, so what I'm going to do, so Leanne just showed you a bunch of our resources, but I'm going to show you how to actually use one of them for your assignments. So I'm going to head back down to the bottom of my dashboard. And there's also a bunch of activities down here we've got some really great featured lessons as well. But one of the best ways to get to our teacher resources from your dashboard is up here. You're going to click on more and just write down to teacher resources. That's going to bring you right to where Leanne was earlier. So I'm going to click on middle school ESL, which Leanne just showed you a little bit of, and I'm going to click on ELL activities. So one thing that I want to talk about is our idiom activity. Now, idioms are very difficult for kids to learn in different languages because they often don't translate very easily. So using our activity can really show the students a visual of what they can produce. So I'm going to click on idioms. Penny for your thoughts. Okay, so when you click on an assignment, you're going to have an example that is already pre-made. And then if you scroll down, you're going to have a little activity overview. That's for the teacher. This activity actually has wonderful examples so that, you know, some teachers might say, you know, I want you to come up with your own examples, do some research, or for some kids that might need a little extra information, you can provide them with some to choose from. So there's a lot of idioms here, alphabetized. We also include class instructions. So the instructions are already written. They're, as you'll see in a few moments, you can actually customize them yourself, but we actually, you know, give you an objective and some starting lesson instructions. We also include a template, which is right here. So the students will be able to create right from a template that's already provided. And we have a lot of Common Core standards in the US. So this might be a place where teachers could get some ideas for standards for administrators. So you can provide, here's what our goals are with this lesson. Our lessons also include rubrics. So, you know, you can provide these for the students ahead of time so they know what to expect and what you're expecting. These are also customizable as well. Okay, so I'm going to scroll back up to this, and let's say I want to use this. This is a wonderful example. I want to use this with my class. If I hover over the assignment just like this, an orange button is going to pop up and it's going to say use this assignment with my students. So I'm going to click on that. And so what it does is it goes right to my dashboard automatically, and it's telling me I need to assign this activity to a class. So I'm just going to assign it. If I'm a teacher that has several different classes during the day, I can have more classes than one on my dashboard, which is wonderful. So I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to have this be in my English 1 class. Over here, you can see that it populated the directions. And our template that I just showed you on the other page is now on my dashboard, which is great. And as you can see here, I can edit it if I want to. But if I like it just the way it is, I won't have to do anything. And then if I scroll down here, here's the example that showed up when you clicked onto the activity. You can decide whether you want to show this example to your students or not just by clicking this button. So I'm going to show it to my students. Before I show you what a student will see, I do want to show you how to add another template or more than one template to an assignment. This is a wonderful tool for differentiating between students. So I'm going to click right here, add template from your storyboards. Prior to this webinar, I actually created these templates already. So I'm just going to click on select as template. And now we have another template that students can choose from with a little bit less direction, but also less boxes so that they don't have to do as many idioms. So for this first one, you clearly have 5 idioms, and maybe you just want some students to only do 3. So there's you can create as many templates as you want, which is wonderful. Okay. So the next thing I want to show you, everything looks to be all set. I'm going to go up here and I'm going to click on View as Student. And this is what your students are going to see once you have assigned it to them, which is great. They've got the directions. They can click on the rubric. They say they have 2 templates to choose from. And then because we are allowing them to see the example, here is the example. But again, if you do not click that button, they will not be able to see the example. Okay. And then once students start working, this middle button that I clicked right here says Student Work. Once your students are working as a teacher, you can go in as they're working and check their progress in real time, which is great. Their storyboards will show up right here. And that'll help you to kind of gauge where students are and if they need more time. If it's a homework assignment, you can, check it whenever you want, which is wonderful. So I'm going to go back to the Edit Assignment tab because I want to show you this link right here. It says need a link to share with students. All you do is click on that and copy it and then paste it right onto Google Classroom or what other LMS system that you use. So it's super easy. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to show you is our blank template gallery. So I'm going to go all the way down here and I'm going to click on under Teacher Resources. We have worksheets, posters, templates, graphic organizers, tons of things. We even have a monthly newsletter. I'm going to click on worksheets. And this is our worksheet gallery. As you can see, when I scroll down here, we have all different kinds of customizable worksheets. So let's say I am teaching a math unit on graphing, and I can click right here onto graphs. And here we have lots of different blank templates that teachers can click directly on and customize for their class. Here we have little blurbs about how you can use them and what they're used best for. So I'm going to click on this little tally chart here that looks nice and colorful. You can see that we have a lot of black and white options too for printing purposes. I'm going to click on copy template, and what that does is it saves it right to my storyboard. So I just want to save this for now because I saw it and it was cool, and I don't really want to assign it to anything. So I'm just going to keep it at not for an assignment. And I'm just going to type in graph. And now it is in my storyboard and I can edit here. I can write the title. I can click the title here. I can write my own directions. I might want to take away some of these tally marks to make it a little easier for kiddos. Depending on your age group, you might want to add more. Here are your questions that you can add. And then the students will write their answers right here. The wonderful part about our worksheets is you can print them out or they can be assigned digitally. So they can do them right on the Creator. Okay. So I'm going to move that over. All right. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to save and exit. And now this worksheet is in my Creator, in my dashboard. Okay, the next thing I want to show you is a bunch of our worksheet activities that have to do with reading and writing and more academic based. So I'm going to scroll down here into our teacher resources, reading, writing. So for language learners, word walls are very, very important. So I'm going to click on our word wall template here. And as you can see, we have lots of different things to choose from, nice and colorful and bold colors, so you can hang them up on your wall. And let's see, I like this one. I'm going to click on copy template. Again, not necessarily for an assignment. It's just something I might want to print out myself or have students print out when they're done. I'm just going to call it word wall. And now I can customize anything in here. So I'm just going to highlight this. I'm going to do dog. And then the dog is. Okay. And then here, I love our dogs. So that's why I chose dog as my example. I think they're so cute. Our artists are amazing. So I'm going to go up here and click on dog just for time. And here's a lot of our cute little guys. I love this one. He's my favorite. I'm going to drag him down and maybe him. And I'm going to make him running because he looks so cute with his ears. There we go. He's so cute. And then I'm going to click save and exit. And now I have a word wall poster that I can print out and laminate and hang. So this is great because you can make your own or you can have your students make them as an activity. Okay, the next thing I want to show you one more teacher resource page, our wonderful, beautiful, colorful poster templates. So I'm going to click on our poster template. And as you can see here, we have so many different varieties. You could do grammar, graphic organizer posters, punctuation, vocabulary. I'm going to scroll down here because our posters are very useful also for kind of setting up your classroom. I'm going to go into classroom rules. And here we have a lot of different poster templates for your classroom rules. Okay, so this could be something you could download at the beginning of the year and have it ready to go with your students. So I like this one. This one's really pretty over here, actually. The rainbow, it's my favorite. Leanne made that one. So again, not for an assignment. I'm just going to say rules and continue. And then once you're ready to roll, you can just say, I don't know, room 10. Rules. I think I was room 16 when I taught. Can't quite remember. Okay, and then if I click save and exit, now it is in my dashboard ready to use whenever I am ready. Okay. One more that I want to show you that is really popular in our teacher resources posters is our game templates. So in the for fun section, I'm going to click on games. Look at all these amazing posters that we have. So all you have to do, let's see, there's one that's really cute. They're all really cute. I'm going to click on this one. This is very basic. So games are really useful for any kind of vocabulary work. You could use them to, talk about a book that you're reading, anything. They're so versatile, which is why they're very, very popular. Poster. And now you can create your own game. Any text you want here, you can change the colors. You can move anything around that you want. Really cool. Here's your name. Okay. So that is how you use our templates and our activities and anything that you want to save onto your own dashboard for any time in the future. Okay, Joe, how are we doing on questions? Do we have any questions going on so far that we want to address before we move on?
Well, first of all, I just wanted to say this is incredible. I had no idea you could do so many different things with Storyboard That. It's been a real eye-opener. All the templates and everything, it's absolutely fantastic. We have had a question so far, which Anna very kindly has answered in the chat, but it'd be lovely if you could show us how it works in reality, which is, we had the question from Mila. Is it possible to add your own photos to Storyboard That?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked that, Mila. So here I am back in the Creator. One of the handy things we have is down here is our zoom. I can zoom in and out. So I'm going to go to layout and I am going to add more cells. Now we have some blank cells here at the bottom. If I wanted to, and I did not see what I hope to find either in search or in our categories, I can go to this button, upload. And if I go to upload images, I can select here, and anything that I have on my computer, I can upload. So here's Machu Picchu. I can open it. And now you'll see that here it is up here, and I can pull this down, drag it into the cell. I can make it big, and there you are. So it's very easy to add your own pictures from your computer. You'll notice that it says do not upload photos of children under 13, nothing offensive, but it's very easy to add anything you want from your own computer, which is a great addition to all of the art that we already have.
Great question.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And I noticed as well that you talked about photosforclass.com, because that also is part of Storyboard That, isn't it?
Yes.
That's a brilliant website, which I recommend whenever I'm doing presentations for royalty-free images. So it's lovely how you're combining those together. That's great.
Exactly. So it really gives unlimited options. If I type in taco, you can see the tacos that our artists have created. You can give one to the teacher. She might be hungry. But you can see that we also have other images that come up with that same search term that are all safe for students.
Yeah, that's amazing. Could you clarify how much you can do for free in what you've showed us so far, and what is a part of the premium package? So, for example, the teacher dashboard that you showed us, and the way that you can make copies of templates. Can you do that for free, or is that just part of the premium package?
So part of your free trial, you have access to everything. And once your free trial ends, I can go over here to our pricing. You'll see that for single teachers, it's $5.99 a month. But when you are playing around with your free trial, anything that you've added, once you convert it to a paid account, you can keep all of those things that you've already created.
That's fantastic. That's very, very reasonable, I think. That's great. Excellent.
Excellent. Thank you. Yeah, Joe, we were actually going to go, we have a little bit more info on that. So that's a really great question. Thank you.
No problem. That's the question that normally comes up. What can you do for free? What do you have to pay for? So thank you for clarifying that. Yeah, any more information about that would be great. But I'm so blown away by all the possibilities and the games as well. I mean, I would imagine you could export that as an image and put it into a tool like Jamboard, for example, and then you could then have some sort of collaborative game. I'm sure language teachers would absolutely love that. That'd be amazing.
Why don't we download?
Yes, that's right. We can actually smash together with different apps. And I can show you, did you put that game board in the dashboard?
I did, yeah.
So we can show you how when you have...
Oh, I did not put the game board, I'm sorry.
But one of the things that you can do is once your storyboard is in your dashboard, you can see this view all options. So you can view it as a slideshow. You can also put it into a PowerPoint. If you had multiple images, you can turn it into an animated GIF, which is really fun. So you can see it as an animated cartoon. And you can download it as a PDF, as a high-res image. The other wonderful thing for language teachers is that you can record audio over the storyboards. So that beautiful word wall that Lauren made, you could actually record your voice saying the word, or students could record their voices saying the word.
Wow. Could you show us an example of how that would work in practice?
Sure.
Any option to record audio always goes down well with language teachers. That's brilliant.
So I just clicked the audio button. Now I'm going to click start recording.
And then you might use this time to give directions. Please include a dog with 2 pictures of a dog and say the word dog, or you know, we can actually do that. Or you can say in your directions, please record yourself saying this word. So there's many different options.
Right.
So now
Sorry
we
to
stop.
put you on the
That's
spot.
okay. No, that's okay. I got
That's
it.
great.
It's okay.
So that's good for accessibility as well, isn't it? For students who prefer listening to instructions. And then, so can the students record their audio as well, or is it just the teacher that can record audio?
The students can record as well. So you can add an audio component to your lesson and have them speaking.
Oh, now I have to listen to my voice. I'm just kidding.
I don't know. It might not play because we're in the Zoom.
That's
But you can see that it recorded 22 seconds and you have up to 60 seconds, which is quite a long time.
Yeah, that's great. I really like that.
So I actually want to show them an animated GIF. So why don't we,
please,
if we go into, maybe we can go into, even if you go into just one of our pre-made activities. So a storyboard on a book, that might be like one of the plot diagrams would be great to show. So if you wanted to go into, sure. Oh yeah, that's a perfect one.
Okay. So here we are, a fairy tale Goldilocks and the 3 bears.
So what you want to do is,
More options. Wait, do I need to?
So we're going to copy it and save it first. So once it's in your dashboard, then you can do anything with it. So that's what we're doing right now. We're basically just downloading it to our dashboard.
Now we have all
the options. You click on animated GIF.
I think we're going to have to let us know if you can't see it, because I was showing this one time and because it pops out. Can you see it?
So we can see the different options at the moment.
Because,
So let me.
It's because we're only sharing the screen. There we go. Here we go.
See it now?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I see. Right. So what it does is it pulls all the images together into a storyboard and turns it into an animated GIF.
Exactly.
And can you choose how long each image appears on the screen for?
That is a very good question.
Unfortunately, no, you cannot choose that. It is set for, I think, 1 second per cell. However, you can export into other GIF making platforms.
Yeah, that's lovely. I've done that myself. I've made different cartoons and then done exactly that, put them into a third-party tool to make an animated story. That's a really lovely idea. I didn't realize you could do that directly within Storyboard That. That's lovely.
And you'd want to use the image pack download, because that will give you separate files for each of the cell images.
Excellent.
Whereas the other ones are mostly just the entire storyboard.
You can also download it as a PowerPoint, which is great if teachers use this to teach. It pops it into this layout, but you can actually change the layout, and you can see that it has the picture on the left and the writing on the right. And this is a great way for students to also showcase their storyboards or present them to the class.
Excellent. So
and in that way as well, you'd easily be able to add a narration within PowerPoint, wouldn't you? So you'd be able to export the Storyboard That as a PowerPoint and then use the insert audio narration feature. So that's great. That's very flexible.
Right.
Oh, this is great.
Great.
Any other questions? Because we're happy to showcase more.
We had a question. Could you add the audio in a speech bubble on the board like a link? And Anna said you can't, but that sounds like an awesome idea. So there we are.
That is a great idea.
All right, we have another question. Is that is Storyboard that like making a comic by using Canva? So I think that it's a similar idea, isn't it? The way in which you can make a comic that way. I think, yeah, I'd suggest the person that's asked that question that you can see obviously how we're making a comic this way, and then you can refer to that other tool,
Right.
and then work out the similarities. But yeah, they seem similar. But I think this is brilliant. I just love how creative it is and how easy it is to create the different bits of content. And the fact I didn't realize you could add your own photo as well. So that's even better. That's fantastic.
Right. When I taught, I actually did use Canva, and I have to say, not being biased, but this is so much easier to use than Canva. So I think they're really going to enjoy it. When you pull down the characters, you can customize them so quickly and make them do anything you need them to do. You can pull down your textables. In addition to all our speech bubbles, we also have action, we have shapes. So there's many different ways to add text to your scene. Beautiful decorative banners, which are great for making posters and worksheets. You can have a sign out in front of his house, and you can add text to this.
So I've just put in the chat any other questions. It would be lovely to hear some other questions from the audience. That's great. I'm just blown away by how easy this is.
And Lauren and Leanne, can you navigate to one of our French or Spanish lessons and open up and show what we have to offer?
Please.
So if we go down in our resources, you can see that we've got world languages. We have different Spanish. We can go for different verbs. Talks about the difference here, and then you have different activities. Like Lauren showed you, if I click this button, it will add it to the dashboard. And here is your example. You can see that some of these use photos for class in addition to some of the art that we already have. All of our activities have an overview and a template. Look at more sentence practice. So in this case, the prompts have blanks, so students can fill in the blanks.
And the beauty of that too is when you download it, if you don't want the students to have any words at all, and you want them to just look at the picture and come with up with their own sentence without any aid, that's another option too.
Conjugation. Here are some beautiful posters that you can make where you have the verb and the different ways to conjugate it. You can print it out and hang it on your wall, or you can just use it digitally.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And is it possible for teachers to submit examples that they've made using Storyboard That? Do you have like a section whereby they can share resources with other colleagues?
I love that idea. They can share within their school. So from their dashboard, let's see, if you go into that idioms, there is a spot to share this assignment with teachers in my school. And you can click that button and you'll be able to share it that way.
And all of our pre-made assignments come with the example, which is great, but teachers can absolutely add their own examples from scratch as well. They don't have to use our examples.
Right.
They can add their own right from their own storyboards. So, that is a great way to customize exactly what the students need.
Helen's
That's
asked
great.
the question, can we change the background colors on posters or are they fixed? Great question.
Very good
Nothing
question.
is fixed. Nothing is fixed at all, which is so great. If you look at the posters and you like one thing about it, but you didn't like something else about it, you can change. So maybe you like this layout, but you don't teach science, you can change everything about it. So if I click on this color, oops, it always makes you save it. And the great reason for that is because it's automatically saved and real-time save begins. So every 15 seconds, your storyboard will be saved, so you'll never lose your work. But you can see that this is yellow. If I wanted it to be a different color, I could go ahead and change that. Now it's black. You can change any of these. These are our preset colors, but if you go into here, you'll see that you can choose every color of the rainbow.
Any shade.
There's even a spot here to write the hex of the color. So any shade you want.
RGB and hex codes are accepted.
That's lovely because for some people these things are really important, aren't they? They want the exact color, so if they have the RGB option, they can choose the exact color to match their presentation, etc. That's lovely to see that.
Absolutely.
And Leanne, can you show us a little bit more about that zoom? I saw that you clicked fit to screen, and I just wanted to see how far in can you zoom?
Yeah, so the great thing is that this slide bar allows you to zoom in as much as you want. So it's really easy to get those small items. You can also scroll up and down. But if I want to quickly fit it to my screen, then I can click this button. The other nice thing we have, if you have many different cells, is we have this single cell layout. So if I add, so if this is a large storyboard with lots of different cells, but it's hard to focus, I can click this single cell layout, and now I'm focused on one at a time, which is another great tool for students, and it mimics what they see in Google Slides.
It's great.
This is great. I'd love to see some more questions in the chat if anyone has any other questions. There's so much that you can do here. It's just awesome.
Okay.
One more question. Sorry, I just keep thinking of things.
That's okay.
Great, go for it.
Can you show how to change the accents? So I know that that's an extremely important part of various languages, is to have the different accent keys.
Right. So let's say I'm typing Mexico, but I want to use the correct E. In this editing palette, here is your text editor here, where you choose your font, you choose your size, you choose your color. When you click more, the Enya comes up, and this is where all your accents are. Oops, I didn't do the right. Oops.
So what it does is it replaces it actually instead of just adding it on the top. So that's good. Yeah, great.
I did the right one.
Great question.
And does the Storyboard That work equally on, say, an iPad or an iPhone or an Android phone, or does it work best on a larger screen on a browser, on, say, a laptop or a Mac, etc., or does it work on all devices?
It works on all devices. We know that a lot of students and teachers are using Chromebooks in their classrooms. So that's actually what we're on right now, to give you a good feel of how it looks. But it really works on anything. I mean, I've certainly used it on my phone for my son in the car or whatever. But yes, it does work on anything. But I would say that Chromebooks are the most popular.
Yeah, but we have a number of schools who are iPads only for students, and it's really optimized recently for iPads as well.
Amazing.
Great.
Yeah, that single cell mode especially is very useful for the iPad.
Right.
That's right. That's great.
Any other questions we can answer?
We don't have any other questions yet, but I'd love to see some other questions in the chat. I'll just double check. I think I've put all the questions so far that we've had, but if anyone has any other questions, feel free to put them in. Yeah, I'm just really impressed. I think it's great, and I love the how easy it is to customize as well. And so yeah, just like for example on the page there, the way that you've got the different characters, how you've got the language there, it's just really straightforward. And I would imagine it would be very attractive to learners, because everyone likes cartoons, and so the fact that you are combining the cartoons with the learning of the language encourages the students to read in the target language, I think, which is what exactly what you want, and the cartoons are so good for that, I think.
Right, exactly.
So this would be great for presenting about grammar, for storytelling, lots and lots of different ways you could use it in the languages classroom. It's great.
We also have this picture encyclopedia, which is another tool that is free for teachers to use. So for example, English phrasal verbs, these are little cards that could be printed out or put into a slideshow to help show what the different phrasal verbs mean. And there's a number of different examples. And it can give you ideas for how you can use this for any language.
So if you scroll down, yes, if you're in one of these picture encyclopedias, you can customize it yourself as well. So if you scroll down a little bit, you'll see where it says customize this example. So there's that. We'll save it right to your dashboard. So you can change it however you'd like.
Fantastic. We've got a question from Perla, which is, could you show how students see the activities when they don't have an account? Is that possible?
So when they don't have, if they are in your classroom roster, then they will be able to see it just like that. So that is how it would look as a view as students. So with the directions, the rubric, they would have the templates, and then an example if you choose to show it.
However, if they do not have a Storyboard That account, they would not be able to access this information because it is protected by student privacy laws. So, and it's important that we have security. So if your student is using either a free account or is anonymous, then they will not be able to do quite as much as they would as if they were in a classroom.
Fantastic. Oh, and I see you've got the import from Google Classroom option. So could you give us a flavor of how easy it is to add? Obviously, we don't want you to show any student names, but could you describe how easy it is to add a class to Storyboard That once you've gone for the premium version?
Right. So this area in the top right is where you can invite students, and it's very easy to set them up, add their classes, give them their sign-in option, invite them. If you have Google Classroom, it's just a matter of clicks because you import them directly from Google Classroom.
Fantastic. So to add students, do you need to have their email addresses, or can you add them via a username, or how does that work? So for example, if you're a primary school, would you have to have an email address per student, or how do you add people?
No, we do not use student email addresses to protect privacy, but if what we can do here is if I want to, so I'm going to go back up to here and just, I think that's what Leanne had done. So invite students. So next step, so how would they sign in? And you would kind of click how your students would sign in, or you can manually add your students. So I used to tutor students after school, and I used this to tutor. So I was able to add them manually. So what I did is I clicked on add manually. You would add their name. You would create a student username, a password for them. So when I did this for my own kids, I just did their name and the password was the same. And it was super easy for them to remember. So if you're not importing them from a Google Classroom and you're adding them manually, this is how easy it is. So as you can see here, we have a lot. I mean, this is just one of our accounts. These aren't real students, obviously, but this is what it looks like once you have invited or rostered all of your students. So here you can see all of their information, their name, their username, their password, how many storyboards they've created, and then how many classes you have attached them to.
Yeah, that's really useful. So if they had forgotten their password, you could just reset it or what have you very easily. Yeah, that's
Absolutely.
great.
I'm going to interrupt again. You can also give the students a link to click. So if you go up to invite students and set up classes, that big orange button that you just ignored. So, okay, next step. You already had your classes, click username and password. And here you can copy one of these links and give it to your class, your students, and they would create their own username and password.
That's great.
Even better if you have Google Classroom or Google accounts or Microsoft accounts. I also want to say that we do provide rostering with ClassLink, Canvas, Schoology. I think that's it, as well as Google Classroom. So there's lots of ways that your students can link up.
Fantastic. So if a school was using Office 365 and Microsoft Teams, would it be a question of sending the link, or is there integration in the same way that there is for Google Classroom?
There is not the same level of integration, but they would be able to log on using their Office 365 information.
Right. Okay. That's really handy, I think, for teachers to see exactly how that works. So thank you so much. That's brilliant.
And kind of stepping off from there, Joe, speaking of, some of these things are a little tricky and you might not be sure how to do this. You might not remember what to do. But the wonderful thing about that is that we have a lot of one-on-one and group training options. So Leanne and I are actually, we actually do some of the trainings. We've got a lot of wonderful trainers at the company. You can schedule teacher demos. You can schedule a guided session where we literally help you create a lesson. You can also schedule a student demo. So kind of invite us virtually into your classroom and we will do a whole activity with your class. So all of this is part of your subscription. So it will really help ease everybody, teachers and students, into using Storyboard That.
Yeah, so amazing. Oh, well, I'm blown away. And Anna in the chat has said, "This is real. We will do this for free." It's brilliant. I just think it's such value for money, and it's just wonderful. Yeah, it's really brilliant. Cool, lovely. I'll just turn my video back. I'll just show I'm still here. So was there anything else that you wanted to show us? You've done a great job, I think, in showing us lots of different ways in which you can use Storyboard That. Is there anything else in the presentation you wanted to clarify with the attendees?
Well, our final thing is that we do have a Google form linked to these slides, and we will be sharing these slides with you after the webinar. We love your feedback because it really helps us plan these webinars and tailor them to exactly what you need. So if there was something that you wished you had seen in this webinar, please let us know, and we'll be sure to include it next time.
Lovely. Fantastic. Well, it's been awesome. It's been absolutely awesome. Thank you so much to Leanne, to Lauren, to Anna, doing a great job in the background and answering all the technical questions as well. I can see Anna's now shared the link to the presentation as well. That's fantastic. So I think what we'll do is once I've uploaded the recording to my YouTube channel, I'll then share it with the team, and they can then share it out via the Eventbrite. They can email everybody. So if you are attending live, or you registered but weren't able to attend live, everyone will get access to the recording. So that's absolutely brilliant. Wow, thank you so much. It's been a revelation. I can see how how brilliant this could be for language learning, and you've shown us all these great examples, from very simple examples of just describing some vocab like your pet, down to idioms and much more complex language. There really is something for everybody. So thank you so much for showing us all the possibilities, or giving us a taste of the possibilities of what you can do with Storyboard That. It's been a real pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you so
Great.
much. It was really wonderful being here, Joe. We appreciate it so much. This was lovely.
Yes, thank you.
Excellent. Fantastic. Well, thank you everybody for coming along. As I said, you'll all get access to the recording. Thank you again to Leanne, to Lauren, and to Anna in the background. I really appreciate everyone's support, and I look forward to seeing everyone at the next one. But this has been wonderful, absolutely wonderful experience. So I'm going to stop.
Great.
I'm going to stop recording right now, like this.